What's going on, everybody? It's Daniel here from Mobile Syrup, and here we have the Rogers EVO 3D. This is the flagship Android device that Rogers recently released for $149.99 on a 3-year term, and it's actually quite the nice device. It's 3D capable, it's got some excellent specs, so let's take a look at it. Firstly, we'll see this 4.3-inch QHD display. This is a super LCD display, and it's running at a resolution of 960 by 540. You see these iconic EVO buttons here at the bottom. We haven't gotten any EVO devices in Canada yet, but this line was started on Sprint in the US last year with the EVO 4G. On the left-hand side of the device, there is a micro USB port. Bottom has the battery latch and a microphone. The right of the device is really interesting. We have a bezeled dedicated camera button here, and it's machine leveled as well, so it's extremely nice to push down on. It's got 2 levels there for focus and push. You can hold that down when you're in anywhere in the UI, and it'll go right into the camera app. You also have has this switch here for 2D and 3D mode. You see HTC Sense here and Rogers. The volume rocker here is very nice, easy to click. On the top of the device, we have a power button and a 3.5mm jack and a noise cancelling microphone. We also have this beautiful speaker bezel here and a headset bezel and a 1.3 megapixel camera. On the back of the device, you'll see these dual 5 megapixel cameras with dual LED flash, and you'll see it says 3D high definition digital imaging. This right here is actually the speaker grill, and it's also got a nice textured backing with the HTC logo. So let's take a look at the inside. You see the battery cover is plastic, but it wraps around the device very nicely, so you won't have any of those creaking issues that plague a lot of the other Android devices. It's got a 1730 milliamp hour battery here. You can see the camera sticks out quite a bit, but the battery makes up for it. It's quite a thick device. It's about 12 millimeters, but it doesn't feel overly sized, and that's because the screen is quite narrow at 4.3 inches, but it's a 16 by 9 ratio. So let's turn that on. You see we have the Sense 3.0 home screen here with the customizable icons. You can just drag right into the app there, and you can launch your favorite applications. We also have the Sense widgets with this carousel here. A lot of cool 3D effects. If you see, I will just pinch together my thumbs, it'll actually open up this helicopter view, but if you take a look slowly, you can see it comes together in this very cool 3D effect that kind of fades in all of the home screens there. So then you have easy access to press them. Things like the music application. Very, very nicely designed. HTC has done a very good job of making this as user-friendly as possible and also very attractive. All of their other native applications as well, and they look really good. The weather widget as well. This is the same one as in the Sensation. Hear those eerie sound effects that I'm not sure add anything to the mixture, but certainly are unique. Browser performance is pretty decent. It got about 6,500 milliseconds on the SunSpider JavaScript test, but test a little bit low, but nothing to be too concerned of. Rogers has included some interesting features here. Your Music, which is the music store, as well as Wi-Fi calling, which is an introduction that we haven't seen for a while since the BlackBerry 8900. If you're in range of a Wi-Fi network, you can route your calls over that as opposed to the data network, which can save you from dropping a call if you're in the low signal area, or just boost the sound quality if you have a weak signal. A couple other things, you have the ringtones and ringbacks. You also have a shop and my account. So those are the Rogers additions, including mobile backup, which is a $10 a month feature that's included in some of the value packs. You can back up all your contacts, your pictures, and I believe you can remotely wipe your device and track it if it gets stolen or lost. I'll have to verify that. HTC has also included their Sense repertoire. You have Locations, which is their own navigation app, which comes preloaded with a bunch of maps, so you don't have to actually cache anything. Everything else looks pretty good. Your gallery here, you can see it comes with a few preloaded 3D graphics there, and if you click on that, for example, click on the dog, you won't be able to see this on the camera, but it definitely shows up in 3D, and it's quite cool looking. You can see the image shifting in and out there. So that's basically how the 3D works. You have the ability to toggle 3D and 2D on the side here as well. Let's go right into the menu, and you'll see that this is running the latest version of Android. This is Sense 2.3.4, and this actually does support video calling in the Google Talk application, unlike the Bell Motorola XT860, which ran this version as well but does not support that functionality out the box, and the 1.3 megapixel camera does a really good job. Let's get into the camera app. You just hold down the button here and it'll get you right in there. The 2D image quality is excellent, which takes 5 megapixel still shots in 720p 2D video. You can see you can touch anywhere on the screen to autofocus, or you can hold the button down just halfway to focus, and then takes the shot right there. What happened just there is one of the issues that I've run into. When you're holding the device like this in the palm of your hand, if you want to get a good grip, the edge of your palm tends to brush up against that home screen, that home button rather, and that'll activate the multitasking menu. Just be careful, either hold it kind of with your thumb underneath it or just to the side like that. A little bit awkward since the most comfortable position for me is like that, but just be careful. So to toggle 2D and 3D, as I said, you just push this back and forth and it will activate like that. You don't have the ability to change the resolution when you're taking 3D photos or video, so it comes out in 2 megapixels when you're shooting stills and 720p when you're shooting video, so you can just switch like that dynamically. The file formats are in JPS or MPO for stills, and I'm not sure what they are for videos, but I'm sure that they're standard, and quality is really good on both 2D and 3D. So what else can I show you here? We have the watch application, which is HTC's video store. You can just go into it like that. You have to sign up for an account, but it's free. You also can put in your credit card. This only shows the stuff that you've downloaded already. A little bit complicated to get to the buying area. You just click on there. It's actually fairly easy. And all the videos that you can purchase are available right there. So you see this button here, that's for rent, and the basket here is for purchase. You see movies like Up in the Air you can buy for $14.99. Mean Girls 2 you can rent for $4.99 or buy for $19.99. Rentals are valid for 48 hours from the time you begin watching them, I believe, and HTC says that they're adding thousands of videos every month. You also have TV shows here, which you can purchase per episode, I believe. So you have, for example, 2.5 Men. You can get all of the seasons here, and you can buy each episode for $2.49. It's a little bit more expensive than iTunes, but not too bad if you want to buy a whole season. So, for example, The Closer, let's try season 1. So $2.49 for each episode. I don't believe you can buy the entire season in one, but I may have to look into that a bit more. It's very easy. Movies and TV shows are stored on the on the device itself, and just like that, it works very well. I showed you some of the quadrant benchmarks on the review. I'm not going to show them on here, but suffice it to say, benchmarks are a little bit underwhelming for a dual-core 1.2 gigahertz processor with 1 gig of RAM. Even though the resolution is a bit higher, it did score below the other QHD devices that ran Tegra 2 processors, such as the Atrix. Speaking of the Atrix, let's just give a little bit of a hardware comparison in size. The Atrix is a 4-inch display, whereas the EVO 3D is a 4.3-inch, but they're both QHD. They're both 960 by 540 with an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. You see the EVO is a little bit thicker, a little bit taller, certainly more sturdy in terms of build quality, but if you're looking for a device that's a little bit smaller, Maybe you want to go with something like the Atrix or something a bit smaller, but overall we found that the size of the Evo did not really get in your way, since its width over here is much less than a traditional 4.3-inch display, which exists at 800 by 480, which is a 5:3 aspect ratio. We really like this device. Personally, I really like this device. I think that it gives a lot for the price. It does everything really well. Performance of games, applications, browsing was really smooth. HTC's done a great job with the interface, updating it for Android 2.3, and most people who are familiar with Sense will be right at home here. As you can see, it's got the drop-down menu here with your recently viewed apps. It also has your quick settings. Over here you can see your total memory available is 808 megabytes, which is 256 megabytes more than 200 and something more megabytes than the Sensation, which only has 768 megabytes in total. That gives you a little bit more room for multitasking, but overall we didn't notice a huge difference in performance between that and the Sensation. I would like to get the Sensation back to do a pretty thorough comparison between the two now that the Sensation is updated for 2.3.4, but that'll be for a later date. So this is the HTC EVO 3D on Rogers. It is $149.99 on a 3-year term, although you should be able to find it cheaper at participating retailers. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.